Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to a wonderful Friday. I hope you are having a fantastic time. And I am super delighted that we are meeting once more to talk about reinvention. For those who have not been here before, this is the Reinvent to Rise channel. And we are going to talk about reinvention through learning today. So sit tight and I hope you have fun. All right. So some of you might already know this, but I thought it would be wonderful to just share this saying that we have in Reinvent to Rise for everybody to just be on the same page. In an age where the world is truly rewiring itself daily. Learning isn't a luxury anymore. I want you to know that it's not a luxury anymore. It's not something that you can say, okay, well, I'm not interested in learning. You've got to be learning something. So those who commit to learning now will not just survive in the shift that we are going through in the world today, but they will rise to lead in the new order. And so, what does it mean to reinvent yourself through learning? Well, reinvention is not the same as starting all over. A lot of people believe that reinvention is us saying, well, forget everything you've been for 50 years, forget everything you've been for 60 years, forget everything you've been for 70 years. No, 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 no. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is reinvention equals building forward. Okay? Building forward, not going back and revamping everything you've become, but taking what you've become and taking that with you forward. So, why is it that learning is the most powerful tool in this season? Learning rewires how we think, how we act, and how we show up. For many of us, we we think about life as a journey, okay? And in the process of life, we learn a lot and our skills evolve. Industries around us shift. Life changes. Things that we thought would work in 50 years or 40 years or 10 years or 5 years are impacted by life changes. The one thing that keeps us moving forward is the ability to learn. Okay, learning gives us a new language, it gives us new tools, and most importantly, new courage. So, what stops most people from reinventing through learning? It's not the ability or inability, it's the fear a lot of the times, the confusion, feeling very late. Most people never start because they feel they're too old or too far behind or uncertain. I don't believe that's why people um, fail to start or fail to reinvent through learning. I think sometimes people feel that they don't have a perfect plan. And so, because they don't have a perfect plan, they just default to not doing it. But you do not need a perfect plan to learn. You don't. Learning is what gives you structure to your next steps that now makes it that your plan works. So, a new way to learn is not just about courses. When we say learn, I think some of us actually freak out. Like, Oh, they're making me learn. I went to uni. I paid thousands of dollars to go to uni. And so, why are they talking about learning again? And the moment some of us hear the word learn, we freeze up. I was speaking to a 35-year-old the other day, and I said, "Oh, I'm so excited and delighted to meet you." And I asked them a few questions, and we had a quick chat. And I said, "So, what's your learning trajectory like these days?" And the person was like, learning trajectory? Whew! I am so glad that I finished with education so long ago. What I'm doing right now is looking for a job. And I thought to myself, that is a really interesting perspective. So, back to what we were saying, learning is active. You need to understand that it's an active thing, it's not something that drops upon you. It takes someone initiating, either consciously or unconsciously. Okay. And it's applied. When you learn, when information comes to your mind, to your knowledge, application of it is a very solid way to embed what you have learned. And more than anything, learning can be extremely social. For those of you who have been in our various groups and who have been part of the 90-day challenge, you know that it's we are just on what, day 9, but you're learning so much. That is learning. Learning is not sitting on a table in a classroom every day listening to a lecturer. I want us to really think about that. Okay? It's about solving real problems. If you're not part of a community that is motivating you to make your life happen, like be responsible for that, or experimenting things in life, or actually just getting feedback from people, you want to really think about it today and do one thing or join one community that will help you with doing that. So let's recap. It's doing, but it's not just doing by watching or reading. We want to learn with purpose. So, how do you learn with purpose? One, you need to set a goal, okay? And then you need to break down that goal. So, you have a big, large, comprehensive goal, and you will need to break it down into bite sized actions. Then you need to track your progress. Track your progress. It's so important. I hear a lot of people saying, AI has come to take over the world, it's come to take over our jobs, it's come to do this, it's come to do that. And then I see some say, I need to actually learn it. I need to learn AI. The truth is, AI is such a big, big world on its own. You can't just sit down and learn AI. You want to learn AI, that's the big goal. What part of it do you want to start with? That's a smaller step. Okay, that's an action. So you decide, okay, I want to learn generative AI. That piece I might need in my day to day. And then so you take, I want to learn generative AI as one action item. Okay, how wide is generative AI? You think about that and you find out what aspect you want to focus on. Why? Because you could be using generative AI to create videos. You could be using generative AI to create children's book. You could be using generative AI to do something that is generative, but not defining what area you would want to focus on will keep you in that confusion land. Okay? So that means in order to even know what you want to learn, you need to also research a little bit. What areas are there? What is it that is within your reach? Then it comes to, oh, well, how much does it cost me to learn this? Well, are there free options are their paid options. I want you guys to begin to see and recognize how powerful this is. So once you begin to understand how to learn with purpose, everything in you begins to work towards that purpose. And then you meet people you can talk to about it in a social context. You meet people that you can act on it through learning from them. Okay? And then you track your progress. So, how am I doing in this? Am I getting better? Am I becoming so proficient that I can actually share one thing I have learned with somebody else? Ordinary people. You can see the images on the screen. Focused learning, extraordinary results. It doesn't matter how you learn. What's important is that you're learning in order to have extraordinary results. Key mindset shifts for reinvention. Key mindset shifts for reinvention. All right. So I don't know how it, I don't have to know it all to begin. Okay. That's true. You don't. Because, like I said earlier, yes, I mentioned you research and find out what you need, but you could just start by just starting. Every human being has access to information, and we just need to decide that we want it. Okay? And also remember, step two, there, not step, like next, second thing is perfection is the enemy of progress. So you're not thinking about, I need a certificate right now, or I need a degree. You're thinking about, what do I know? And for that, you don't need perfection. You do not need perfection in any form or shape. And also remember that learning happens through action. That is so critical. I can read, I love to read. A few years ago, for about 8 or 10 years, my reading target was 100 books, 100 books a year. And I aimed that to 10 books a month. And many times I wouldn't be able to complete 10 books a month. So it would be like some months at nine, some 10, some eight. And so the extra 2 months of the year, I would use that to wrap up. It was a dream of mine. I was so passionate about it. The more I grew in my career, the less time I had for reading. So I did move that number, that target, from 100 to 80, and I struggled with 80. So later I said to myself, okay, Pamela, you'll be good with 70. And then reduce your reduce the books, but increase your articles. 30-minute articles a day. And that has so propelled my life that I can confidently tell you that I don't read anything less than 300 articles in a year. You are in control. The action starts from you. You just need to understand that you can modify and shift as long as you're moving forward. If you wait until you're 100%, you're never going to start. If you wait until you have the perfect bedroom, perfect table, perfect library, perfect resources, it's never going to happen. Not at all. So here's a simple framework for learning anything that you want to learn. On my screen, you can see that there's a loop, right? And it's, I like to call it the loop that fuels reinvention. I want you to take away from this call today that learning is a life rhythm. It's a rhythm. It's not It's not formalized the way we like to always think of it all the time. There is a place for formalized learning. But in the world we live in today, you can just start with reading notes. You read something short, you apply it, right? You can apply it into a project. I read something about cooking, I can apply it to my cooking. I read a new technique about how to save energy, I can apply it easily. You do not have to think of learning as a formal process. And the truth is, many of us are learning every day, even though we don't think of it that way, but we are. So hold that thought as we go forward. I'll connect the dots for you. And then reflect on what worked because somebody might share something with you. You might come across some information, but when you put it into your context and your scenario, your results can be very, very different. Very. Or your results might just reveal something to you that you never thought about before. And so that is why reflection is so powerful. Very, very powerful. When I came across the gift of reflective learning, that was, wow, probably 20 years ago. And I have been practicing it for years now. No matter how little that thing is that you learn, always take out 30 seconds or a minute and reflect. Because through reflection, you're embedding. And then don't sit on your knowledge, share it, no matter how little. I share things with my team every day, with my kids every day, with my hubby every day, with my family, with staff, whoever cares to listen. If I learned something new, I want to tell someone about it. Not only does that embed my learning, but there's just something spectacularly rewarding about it. And I think that is why it attracts people to me who also want to share their learning. Remember, a seed is a seed. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not. It's a seed. You put it in the ground, it grows. Okay? What can you do today? All right. I would say choose one area to grow. Commit to 30 minutes a day. If you're not part of our 90-day challenge, I ask you, join us. Okay? As you can see in that image, that character has reached 30 days. We are looking forward to day 30 of the 90-day challenge. But more than anything, just give it consistency. Consistency. That's a magic word right there, but it's a powerful action. Join a learning community. You don't have to join paid learning communities. There are loads of them out there that are free. Just make sure you're joining the right one for the season you're in your life. Then, like I said, surround yourself with great people. Okay, so what are the next steps I would recommend for you today? I would say if you haven't joined the 90-day challenge, you're missing somewhat. Join the 90-day challenge and let's make it a wonderful experience. Okay, the details are on your screen as you can see them. And I really, really, really hope that you embrace what we're saying about 30 minutes a day being a very, very powerful first step action. All right. And so without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing. I am looking forward to your feedback. I am looking forward to your comments in the comment section because that is going to help us for communicating to you next week. We want to address things that really, truly matter to you. And for those who are curious to how we are doing two things at the same time, I repeat, for the 90 days challenge, I come up here every day and pre-record our live weekly Fridays so that I can participate in the 90-day challenge. I hope to see you all there very, very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And remember, share something you know. Thank you.